He was a yokai who worked as a courier. Though he could travel 1,000 miles in a day, he could only deliver one package in his entire life. This type of yokai was short in stature and simple in nature. Only when someone on the shore called its name could it take human form from nothingness. As repayment, the yokai would deliver a letter 1,000 miles for its caller. The innocent yokai had no idea that delivering just one letter would drain all its life force. However, a human sorcerer exploited this ability to make money. He lied to the world, claiming he could use magic to send letters to recipients instantly. In this way, he amassed a great deal of wealth, but he was still not satisfied. Before he knew it, the sorcerer's backyard had become a burial ground for many such yokai. The man died young. When his son inherited the family business, he was the opposite of his father. He refused to harm these kind yokai and treated them as his most loyal friends. One day, the boy went to a lake and remembered his father's words. This place was abundant in spiritual energy, a favorite spot for yokai to be born. If you ever meet one, his father had said, make sure to keep it by your side. The boy decided to give it a try. He shouted toward the lake, and to his surprise, bubbles suddenly rose from the water, and a yokai jumped onto the shore. To repay the boy, the yokai offered to deliver a letter for him. But the boy, knowing the yokai's fate, told it he had no need for it for the time being. From then on, the boy visited the yokai often. They watched fireworks together, laughed together, and became close friends who shared everything. Even the boy told the yokai about the girl he loved. One day, the girl had to move far away with her family. Unwilling to leave the boy, she held his hand and said, I'll come back to you whenever you need me. Though the boy was heartbroken to let her go, he finally said goodbye. The yokai couldn't understand why the boy hadn't asked the girl to stay. The truth was, the boy's father had made many enemies in his lifetime, and one of them had cursed the boy to die before he turned 14. The boy didn't want to ruin the girl's youth because of himself, so he chose to let her go. That winter, the boy's condition grew worse. He thought back to the day he parted with the girl. If only he had been brave enough to tell her how he felt back then. If only he had asked the yokai to deliver a letter for him, would that have brought her back? But doing so would cost the yokai its life. The boy was torn with agony. In the end, he tried to console himself. The yokai was so simple-minded, it would surely forget their promise anyway. What he didn't know was that the yokai waited for him for decades. The once beautiful lake had long turned into a stinking marsh,